Ever have that moment when you realize that you've been waiting for something that's never coming? Like you've been playing by the rules, checking all the boxes, but somehow you're still invisible. Greg had spent years serving his country. He was the guy people depended on when lives were on the line. But back home in corporate life, he was just another name on an email chain, another cog in the machine. Greg's frustration wasn't about the job. It was about feeling like he didn't matter, like the discipline, the leadership, the decision-making skills he'd honed in the military counted for nothing because they weren't wrapped in the right corporate lingo.
I don't know. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
This is where so many people get it wrong. They think if they just work hard enough, someone's going to notice. But hard work doesn't get you promoted. Being seen does. Greg didn't have a performance problem, y'all. He had a visibility problem. And if you've ever felt stuck like Greg, waiting for your moment to shine, then keep listening. Because today we're breaking down exactly what it takes to get noticed at work. Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to the Lead with Levity podcast. I'm Dr. Heather Walker. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist. And if you've ever felt stuck at work or confused about what it takes to get to the next level, then you're in the right place today. Because today I'm going to share some information about the exact system that I've used personally to make sure that my work always gets noticed. It's not about sucking up, because I don't believe in that. It's not about working yourself into the ground. And it's definitely not about waiting for someone else to hand you an opportunity. It's about having a strategy, a system that shortens the distance between where you are now and where you deserve to be. So, if you're waiting for your boss to tell you the secret to moving up, you might be waiting forever. And that's why I am talking about this today, because there are so many scenarios, so many situations. I've heard this again and again and again where people are waiting, people are asking, and their managers, their leadership, they don't have answers for them. They're afraid to give them answers. They're afraid to be held accountable for their words. So today I'm going to break down, because I don't work at your company. So I can give you the real deal. I'm going to break down the 4 things that you need to have in place to get noticed at work. And once you have them, you're not going to be invisible anymore. I want to welcome you to the Lead with Levity podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Heather Walker. And if you've ever felt stuck like Greg, doing everything right, but still getting passed over, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to break down the lessons that I've learned over the years about what it takes to get noticed at work. It's not about sucking up. It's not about working yourself into the ground. And it's definitely not about waiting for someone else to hand you an opportunity. It's about having a strategy, a system, if you will, a system that shortens the distance between where you are right now and where you want to be. Because let's be real, if you're waiting for your boss to sit you down and tell you the secret to moving up, you could be waiting forever. Forever. So today, I'm breaking down the 4 things you need to have in place to get noticed at work. Let me tell you why this matters so much to me, why I care so deeply about making sure hardworking, talented people like you, don't get left behind. I'm a first-generation American. My family came here from Jamaica chasing something better. But my grandmother, she was legally blind when she got here. That didn't stop her. She cleaned office buildings for a living. She worked well past retirement age because that's what it took to survive. My parents started college but never finished. Not because they weren't smart. My dad was actually a computer nerd before computers were even a thing. He taught me DOS,
and all kinds of things about computers, like how to not delete all of your most important files. And my mom, she got into a chemical engineering program at UT Austin. Her dream was to graduate by the time she was 40 so that she could pay for my education. Neither of their dreams happened. Instead, they got stuck in odd jobs trying to make ends meet. Not because they weren't hardworking, not because they weren't smart, but because they couldn't figure out how to get ahead. The best career advice that they could give me was so simple. They said, go to school, get a good job. That was the whole playbook. Go to school, get a good job. Moving up, that wasn't even a part of the equation. It felt impossible to me. I remember listening to them talk about work and everything that was going on there, and how the only people who got promoted were the ones who kissed up to the boss and played golf with the right people. And I remember my mom saying, if I were a man, things would be different. I'm not telling you this to get sympathy, and I'm definitely not telling you this to make my parents look bad. I'm telling you this because that's my starting point. I didn't come into this game knowing how to get ahead. In fact, I had a lot of limiting beliefs that were working against me. Here's what I believed early in my career. The first one, and this is a total myth, was if I work hard, I'll get ahead. I did well in school. My parents made sure that I did well in school. So I thought if I just kept my head down and I kept doing my job, the same rules would apply in the workplace. Do the work, get the reward. I was so wrong about that. All that got me was more work while other people got the credit. The second myth that I held on to in my playbook going in is I'm here to get paid, not to make friends. It wasn't like I was trying to be mean. I just wasn't social. I skipped the small talk. I didn't go out to lunch. And what I didn't realize was that while I was busy working, my colleagues were busy building relationships and trust, and that's what actually moved them forward. Meanwhile, I was sitting on the sidelines going, I'm the one doing all this work over here. What's the deal? Why are they getting promoted? Why are they getting opportunities? Why are they getting the good job? I don't understand. The third myth that I had was my manager is going to tell me what to do next. My manager is going to be my mentor, if you will. And that was so far from the truth. I have had some good managers. I'm not poo-pooing on my managers. I have had some good ones. But I've had a lot of managers, and a lot of them were not good. Some managers are hands-off because they trust you to get the job done. And a lot of mine were. They just said, Heather's got it. I'm going to let her do what she does. Others are hands-off because they don't know what to do with you. Either way, if you're waiting for your boss to plan your career, you're setting yourself up to stay right where you are. And I did. I spent years thinking, maybe I have to fight for opportunities. But the truth of it was, you don't fight for these opportunities. You position yourself so that the opportunities can come to you. It doesn't have to be so hard. And that was something that I needed to learn. Because I was quiet, I was shy, I had a lot of good things to say, but I wasn't putting myself out there. And when it was time for me to speak in meetings, I could feel my face, my whole body start to heat up. It was almost like I couldn't breathe. My hands would shake, my legs would shake, just thinking about putting myself out there. So I didn't. I didn't speak unless I was spoken to. And that's my starting point. And that's what I need to share with you. It's very important that you understand that's my starting point. And I was so blessed to have professional role models who saw me struggling. They taught me how to think about things in a new way because it all starts up here. It all starts in your mind. It's been over 25 years since my first job. I started working at the age of 14 in a special work program. And since then, I've earned multiple degrees, including a PhD in industrial organizational psychology. Now, what does that mean? It means that I've spent years studying how people work, how to make work meaningful, and how to help people get the recognition that they deserve. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies, government agencies, nonprofits. I've seen firsthand how companies decide who moves up. And I can tell you right now, it's not just about hard work, y'all. And every time I see someone getting stuck, hitting those invisible roadblocks at work, it hurts my heart. It really does. Because I know exactly what that feels like. So today, I want to give you something that I wish that I had earlier in my career. I want to give you a system, a strategy to make sure that you and your work get recognized. Because it's not about sucking up. I can't say that enough. It's not about working yourself into the ground, and it's definitely not about waiting for someone else to notice you. It's about having the right 4 things in place to get noticed for the right reasons. And when you do, everything is going to change for you. Here's what I've learned. If you want to move up, you need to be seen as high value. And being high value isn't just about working hard. It's about making sure people see the impact that you're making. Because the reality is that your career isn't just about what you do. It's about what people remember you do, right? It isn't just about what you do. It's about what people remember you do. It's about what people remember about what you did, okay? It's about what people say when you're not in the room. And the people who get noticed, they aren't necessarily the best workers. They're the ones who have a system in place. So here's the 4-part system for getting noticed at work. This is what I've used. It's a system that shortens the journey between where you are now and where you want to be. And it has 4 parts: receipts, clarity, and courage. I'll say that one more time. Receipts, support, clarity, and courage. I'm about to break these down for you, okay? So take some notes. Please take some notes. Let's start with receipts. If you want to get noticed, you need to be able to prove your value at a moment's notice. In the elevator. You've heard of an elevator pitch? This is in the elevator. You need to be able to prove your value. If your boss pulled you into a meeting right now, and asked you, what have you accomplished in the last 6 months? Would you be ready with an answer? Or would you just go, I've done a lot of things. I worked on that one project, and maybe have something vague to share with them. If a promotion opportunity opened up tomorrow, could you clearly and confidently articulate and explain why you deserve it? To have receipts, you need to keep a wins file. Every time you complete a major project, save the email. Make sure that you're gathering data. So really, it's all about gathering information, gathering your own testimonials, evidence of what you've been working on all throughout the week, all throughout the quarter, so that at the end of the year, at the end of the quarter, you will be able to show very clearly and pick and choose the highlights, the story that you want to share about the success, about the impact that you've had on the business, on the team, how much you've grown individually, personally, professionally. It's so important. And you're not just keeping the file, you're also quantifying your impact. Did you save the company money? Did you speed up the process? Did you make work more efficient and measurable? Very, very important. The first time that you talk about your achievements should not be in your performance review. Receipts. That is the first element in this system. The second element in the system is support. You'll also hear me refer to it as connection, but you get the support through the connections that you have. And support is something that's so important because no one makes it to where they are alone. I know we like to put people on pedestals and talk about people as self-made millionaires, self-made leaders. They climb the company ladder all by themselves. That's not true. Every single person that you're looking up to as a leader has people who support them, has people who help them get to where they are, whether through education, through advocacy, through partnership, through collaboration. Every single person who gets to a higher level in the organization has a support system in place. They have had people help them get there. People in their corner, mentioning their name in the room when they're not there. What does this mean for you? It means that visibility isn't just about what you say about yourself. It's also about what others say about you. It's about your reputation. Promotions don't happen in isolation. In many companies, they have talent councils and meetings where leaders get together and they start having conversations. Imagine it's like baseball and you have your player card and they're talking about who has done what and how far has this person come and are they ready yet to take on a team and are they ready yet for that next level and what kind of opportunity should we give this person who has been working so hard over here? So even those conversations don't happen in isolation. And you need relationships with people who can vouch for you and advocate for you and pull you into opportunities. I can't tell you how many times I have been pulled into an opportunity because I have a reputation for delivering high quality, thoughtful work. I'm the kind of person that people enjoy working with. They love to brainstorm with me. They know that I'm going to bring them options, solutions. I'm going to really do my homework. And I can't tell you how many people I have pulled into opportunities. I just did that this morning. There was an opportunity that came across my desk. A company that is on the Fortune 500 list reached out to me. They put a meeting on my calendar and they said, we have this challenge. And because of the work that we've done with you in the past, we thought about you. And I looked at what the need was and I said, ooh, this isn't quite within my wheelhouse. This isn't something that I typically deal with, but I know someone. I know someone who would be great for this. And bam, I picked up my phone. I reached out to that person and I said, hey, there's an opportunity. Do you have time? Do you want to join me in this meeting? Come on, let's go. And they did, and they ran with me. That is what I'm talking about right here. When I'm talking about support and I'm talking about connection. So what's required is you got to identify the key players in your organization. People who can serve as mentors, people who are decision makers, people who can be your allies, right? People who can support you. And they're not always the people who hold the weightiest titles. Sometimes the people that you need to look for are your coordinators, are your technicians, are the people who know where the bodies are buried, as they say in the company, the people who really know how things get done. And you have to be intentional about how you go about networking. Networking is something that it took a long time for me to even say, okay, it's something that I need to do. And I found ways to make networking work for me and with my introverted, shy self, because it's really all about your mental state and your mindset about it, how you look at it. But you got to go to lunch, join the discussions, show up where the decisions are made, and make sure that you are tapping into a support network because it's there for you. It's waiting for you. The third element in this is clarity. Getting known for the right things. And this is something that people often overlook because getting noticed is inevitable. It is. If you're a hard worker, people will notice you. But are you being noticed for the right things? What do I mean by this? Not all work is considered high-value work. You can be busy, busy, busy. And for the longest time, I believed that being busy equaled being valuable. And in fact, here in America, anyway, that is a part of our culture. When you say hi to someone, "Hi, how are you?" it is perfectly acceptable to say, "I'm busy. I am so busy over here," as a response to "How are you?" And that response means, "I'm killing it over here. I'm getting things done. I'm knocking things out. I've got 10 cups of coffee. I'm on coffee cup number 9 today." And we oftentimes will accept that as an appropriate answer, especially at work. "I'm busy. I'm getting things done." And yeah, you might be busy, but are you focused on the things that are actually moving the needle? Because if you don't have clarity around this, you might get attention, but the things that you're getting attention for might actually keep you stuck instead of helping you move forward. So you need to be really intentional about the reputation that you're building. And this includes defining your personal brand at work. What do you want to be known for? Identifying high impact projects that actually line up with what leaders prioritize, and getting clear on what is my next step. Where do I want to go from here? Am I looking for a promotion? Am I looking for a stretch opportunity, something interesting and exciting to get into? Am I looking for a raise? What am I looking for? Because if you don't know what you want, people are going to fill in that gap for you. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, "Okay, I see what you can do. Here's an opportunity. There you go." And you will get opportunities by default, joyful opportunities that you can get really excited about. Number 4 in this system is courage. The courage to speak up and ask for what you want, the courage to speak up and ask for help when you need it. And it's so important because you can have all the receipts in the world. You can have all the support in the world. You can have all the clarity in the world. But if you're not willing to put yourself out there and advocate for yourself, you're going to stay stuck. If you want to be promoted, you have to be willing to promote yourself first. If you want support, you have to be willing to ask for it. If you want opportunities, you have to be willing to step up and take them. If you've never told your boss that you want to move up, why would they assume that you do? You've got to challenge some of your limiting beliefs, just like I did. If you believe that you shouldn't have to advocate for yourself, that belief is going to keep you from advocating for yourself. It's going to keep you from speaking up. And you need to train your mind to see yourself in the role that you want next. Acting like the leader that you want to become. So the big takeaway here is that when you have these 4 things, receipts, support, clarity, and courage, you don't have to hope that someone's going to notice your work. You make it impossible, absolutely impossible to ignore you. And you don't even have to fight anyone for it, for all that attention that you're about to get. So this is what I want you to do today. I want you to take a minute and ask yourself, which of these 4 areas do I need to work on most? I had a really great conversation with someone on my team, and we were going back and forth on this, and they were like, is it a system or is it a process? So I want to go ahead and just take a moment and give you an analogy to help make this make sense, because I call it a system. I want you to think about the human body. You don't have just one system that keeps you alive. You have multiple systems that work together. You've got your circulatory system. It pumps blood, right? Pumps blood all through your body. You've got your respiratory system that brings in oxygen. You've got your digestive system. That's what fuels you throughout the day and why it's so, so important. What you eat is so, so important. And then you've got your nervous system that keeps everything connected. And if even one of these systems fails, the entire body suffers. You suffer, you feel it. Getting noticed at work works in the same way. It's not just about one thing. It's about having the full system working together. And the 4 parts of this system, again, receipts, support, clarity, and courage. Each of these plays a role in your career's health. Think about it like that. Your circulatory system is moving blood and oxygen and nutrients to where they're needed. And if the blood stops flowing, you've got a problem. How does that connect to work, you ask? Your receipt, you tracking records, your wins, impact. They're like the blood in your career. If your value isn't flowing where people can see it, you get stuck. You need to keep your achievements moving through the right channels so that your contributions don't go unnoticed. Your nervous system connects everything in your body. Everything in your body. It sends messages from your brain to your muscles so that you can move and you can react. Without it, nothing functions properly. You might be even in a lot of pain, or worse, you might not feel anything if your nerves aren't working. Let's connect this back to work. Your support network, mentors, sponsors, allies are like your nervous system. They keep you connected to opportunities, and they make sure that your name is mentioned when it matters. If no one in power knows what you're capable of, it really doesn't matter how good you are at work. Especially, caveat, obviously it matters how good you are at work, but you really do need people advocating for you. And that's what I'm talking about here. Let's talk about your brain. Your brain controls where your energy is spent. It prioritizes things like movement, thought, reaction. If the brain isn't clear on what's important, the body gets confused and it starts working inefficiently. So at work, if you don't have clarity about what matters, where you're trying to go, you're going to waste a lot of energy on things that aren't moving you forward. Just like your brain tells your body what's important, you have to tell yourself and others where you want to focus your career. Not all work is considered high-value work to leadership. And if you're not clear on what you want to be known for, you might accidentally start spending your energy in the wrong place. Last one that I'm going to mention, just to bring this point home, is your immune system and how that connects to courage. Your immune system protects you from harm. It makes you stronger over time, right? And if you're weak, you're vulnerable. If your immune system is weak, you are vulnerable. I think we can understand that. If it's strong, you can face challenges head on, right? You can say, cough on me. I dare you, cough on me. I've got a strong immune system. Let's go. I'll be okay. Think about it like this at work. Courage. Courage is what defends your career from being overlooked. It's what allows you to speak up, ask for what you want, to push past limiting beliefs. And without it, you stay stuck in the same place, hoping someone's going to notice you. So if you don't have the courage to advocate for yourself, you're going to stay invisible, even if you have all of the other items in place. Just like your body can't function properly if even one system is failing, your career can't thrive if even one of these 4 elements is missing. So if you have receipts, but no support, no one is going to know about your wins. You've just got it like a pile on your desk, a folder on your computer somewhere. No one's going to know about it. If you have courage, but no clarity, you might speak up, but maybe you're not speaking up about the right things, right? Or you're not speaking up in a way that others will understand, respond to, and say, yeah, I can get behind that. What if you have support, but no receipts? You know what that looks like? It looks like people like you, but they just can't justify why you should move up. One thing I like to let my clients know about is that you want to make it easy for other people to advocate for you. And that includes your manager. And I teach them how to do that, how to make it easy for your manager. I teach them how to do that. I teach them how to make it easy for your manager to advocate for you. That's why I call this a system, not just a process. It's not just about working harder, waiting your turn, hoping for the best. It's not just about working harder, waiting for your turn, hoping for the best. It's about making sure that all 4 of these things, receipts, support, clarity, courage, all 4 of these things are working together just like the systems in your body do. Because if you're feeling invisible, we need to stop that right now. We need to start getting you noticed. We need to open some doors for you, for recognition and raises and promotions and bigger, better, badder opportunities, things that you can get really excited about. So now you know the system, but knowing and doing are 2 completely different things, right? So here's what I want you to do next. I've put together some templates and some tools to help you start putting the system in place. And you can even start putting the system in place this week. And if you're serious about getting noticed at work, about making your impact undeniable, and making it easy for other people to help you move up to the next place that you want to be, I want you to go follow me on Instagram at Lead with Levity and grab them. Yeah, that's where these resources will be. So if you're waiting for the right moment, stop it. The right moment is now, okay? Don't wait for the kids to grow up and go to college and for everything to be in the perfect order and for the sun and the moon and the stars to align and I'll do it when I get through with this over here. And don't wait, because there is never a perfect time. The time to invest in you is always now. And I have never regretted investing in myself. I've learned so many things over the years. Some of it has been so random, y'all. But guess what? Everything that I've learned I've been able to take it and bring it back in some way. It's never a wasted investment. So I need you to hear me on this, because if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been wondering why other people seem to be moving up while you're still in the same spot, there is nothing wrong with you. You're not missing some secret ingredient that only a select few people have. The only difference between you and the people getting ahead is that they've learned how to make their work visible. Now you have that knowledge too. You're capable, you're worthy, and you deserve to be recognized for what you bring to the table. So let's make it happen. Go grab the templates, put this system in place, and let me know how it's working for you. I can't wait to hear about your wins. I want to celebrate with you because I know you've got this. Go get noticed. It's your time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lead with Levity podcast. To get resources mentioned in this episode and find out what we're all about, check us out at leadwithlevity.com.